Hello, Big Show nerds. Thank you once again for joining me on your Nerd News Headlines. This is the Headlines show for February 21st, 2020. We have a fair episode today. We've got some rumor squashing going on. Moon Knight is involved with that, as well as Planet of the Apes. We got some new images of the Batman shooting on set, and we'll kind of get into that. But first, we have to do an intro. Let's talk TV streaming, and we've been talking a lot about MCU rumors, and specifically the new Disney Plus shows that we know are happening. And honestly, one we haven't talked about in recent weeks, or recent episodes, I guess is more appropriate, is the Moon Knight series. And that's because not a whole lot has really leaked out about it, probably because it's the only one that's actively in production, aside from the ones that Disney has officially announced, hey, we have release dates for these. So, Moon Knight, Daniel Radcliff, has been rumored to be playing the main character. In a recent interview on ComingSoon.com, I believe it was with the people from Coming Soon, if memory serves, he outright denies that he is going to be playing Moon Knight. He outright denies that he's going to be playing Moon Knight. However, he does not deny the Wolverine rumor or the new Harry Potter movie rumor. Granted, the Harry Potter movie rumor was not addressed to him directly, so that one maybe he could have squashed if they had asked him and not just conjectured after the fact, but it's interesting nonetheless. So that was kind of an early rumor mill piece for you, I guess. Next, we're talking about Nickelodeon. We have an Are You Afraid of the Dark update. It seems that the reboot series was popular enough that it is now getting a second season, which is pretty freaking awesome. I kind of like that. I really like Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think it's a great thing, and I'm super excited that it got a season 2. Our last piece for TV streaming is Castlevania. The official Castlevania Twitter account just made an announcement, kind of interestingly, through a video about the season 3 cast, and there are other additions, but kind of the biggest and most noteworthy addition to season 3 cast is Bill Nighy. That's kind of awesome. Bill Nighy is always a win. That's what we've got for TV streaming. It's going to be a quick episode, it seems. We're moving now into movies. And movies, the 3 pieces, one of them is another rumor squasher. The first of which, though, is Borderlands. Eli Roth has taken up the task of converting Borderlands into a movie. So the video game Borderlands, they're going to make into a movie. Eli Roth is going to direct. Craig Mazin will be the screenwriter, and Ari Arad, who has done a few video game conversions, will be producing. That is a pretty good combination of production staff. So if they can continue what Sonic started, which is hopefully a trend, then hopefully we will get a really cool Borderlands movie. That sounds definitely like something that's going to be covered on Generally Nerdy, to say the least. Next, we're talking about this one could have theoretically gone in the rumor section, but because it comes direct from Roland Emmerich himself, I was like, this is actually news, I suppose. But Roland Emmerich has an idea. Whether or not it's actually going to come to fruition still remains to be seen. But he has an idea for a third Independence Day movie. And he sounds pretty excited about it. He didn't really give any details on it, but this could be the genesis of a second sequel, I guess, to the Will Smith Independence Day movie. Roland Emmerich has been the guy in front of both of the first movies, the first and second, I guess. So interesting. I don't know if this is a thing we really need, especially based off of the second movie we got. And then quickly, while we're still in movies, we've got Batman to talk about. We just got some leaked set footage. These look like they were taken by a pretty decent camera by somebody who's on the set. We got our actual first look at the Batsuit. And those of you watching the video right now can see I appreciate parts of it, and I don't know what to make about other parts. I really appreciate the lines. I really appreciate, they're tying everything together. The ears look a little goofy, but considering these are Batman on a bike, maybe that's a helmet, so it's bigger because it's supposed to be padded. Also, what's going on with the Bat cycle, because it is supposed to be really early in Batman's career, so maybe he doesn't have the design down just yet, but that's a bike. And then the darts on his forearms, I don't know. For those of you not watching the video, I will try and put a link, as good of a link as I can find, because right now the best place to see these are on Twitter, and so it's a little more difficult to link to, but yeah, something's going on with this Batsuit, and if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I think I'm still reserving judgment on that, but let me know what you guys think. So our final piece in movies actually is probably one that fans of this series are going to be super excited about. We have talked in the rumor mill about how the Planet of the Apes movie that is now in production at Disney, because Disney bought Fox owned Planet of the Apes. You do the math. So Wes Ball is the director that is in charge of this new movie. And he actually took to social media in a very funny way in response to how everyone was talking about the rumor around the fact that it was going to be a reboot, and so was not going to address anything that happened in the most recent reboot that had Andy Serkis playing the main chimp, I believe was Caesar. So he said, we live in an age where I'm totally paraphrasing. We live in an age where it's never been easier for reporters to reach out to the people that they're reporting on, and yet nobody reached out to me. No, this is not going to be a reboot. He continued, and then this is a direct quote. He says, Caesar's legacy will stay intact. What that means very much remains to be seen, because if we're just honoring Caesar's legacy, then we could be jumping into the future after Caesar's dead, and then we don't have to pay Andy Serkis to be in our movie and, try and figure out all of those logistics, because Andy Serkis is a very busy man these days. So, honoring his legacy, are we going to see Caesar in the next movie? Are we just going to get reference to because we've gone further down the timeline? There's a lot of room to play here, and it sounds like Wes Ball is down for the game. So that's what we've got in movies. Now, let's get into rumors. So rumor mill, all of them are going to be relatively quick because, except for one, is conversation worthy, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier is that one. We're not there yet. First up is Red Hulk. We have a couple of rumors surrounding Red Hulk, all of them kind of saying the same thing, that we're going to be seeing the Red Hulk sometime soon-ish in the MCU. Doubtful we'll get a movie or a series specifically for Red Hulk, but it seems like there's a couple of very specific rumors that say he's going to make his debut in the She-Hulk series, and then there's another one that says he's going to make either his debut or is going to live in a significant way in the Thunderbolts series. So either way, it sounds like Disney Plus is where we're first going to be introduced to Red Hulk. And I'm down for that, I think. Next, we're talking about Captain Marvel 2. Again, another Rogue rumor, this time pinning Rogue as the main villain in the second movie. With all of these rumors around, honestly, some of these have to be planted in order to throw us off the scent. I think this might be one of those that's just Marvel saying, they're getting a little too close, let's put out some misinformation. So I don't think this one has legs. Introduction to Rogue in the next movie, very likely, very probable even. her playing a main part in the next movie, pretty slim, I think. Then we have an update on the Cassian Andor situation. This one, again, is an unofficial announcement, so that's why it's in the rumor section, but apparently it is suffering from the same issue that the Obi-Wan series is suffering from, in that they're putting it on hiatus until they can, quote-unquote, rework the scripts. It makes this one probably is likely true because they were putting Cassian Andor behind Obi-Wan, so if Obi-Wan's getting pushed back, then so is Cassian Andor. Just kind of seems to make sense. Next, we have another rumor on the Batman. This one has nothing to do with those set photos we got earlier, but does have to do with the rumor we talked about, I believe in the previous episode, maybe 2 episodes back, about Robin. It seems that they are rumored to be courting Timothee Chalamet to play Robin, which is really interesting because he's 24, and it seems if we're getting introduced to Robin, he should be a little bit younger, especially considering Robert Pattinson, I'm pretty sure, is in his early to mid-30s at best, so 10 years difference between Batman and Robin? I mean, Chalamet does look young, so you could probably play him as like maybe 17 or 18, but that's a bit of a stretch, so I'll believe this one when I see it. I don't think this one holds a whole bunch of water. And now we're getting to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So the rumor around Falcon and the Winter Soldier has to do with casting. They just cast Carl Lumbly, who, if you saw Dr. Sleep, you'll recognize. He was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No. He was in some other TV show. It might have been... I'm not even going to speculate because somebody's going to correct me in the comments anyway. So he was in some TV show recently, and he's the most recent and recognizable role was in Dr. Sleep. He was the one of the characters that continued over from the original Shining movie that lived pretty much in Ewan McGregor's head. Anyway, so they cast him in an undisclosed role. And there have been rumors that we're going to be seeing other versions of Captain America. Not other versions of Steve Rogers, but Captain America, the title. So Isaiah Bradley is the one that the rumor says that Carl Lumbly, wow, I'm doing really poorly with names right now. Isaiah Bradley is the version of Cap that Carl Lumbly was rumored to possibly be. But we also have rumors that we might be seeing Captain William Burnside, who was the 50s version of Captain America before it became Steve Rogers. So, because Isaiah Bradley has ties to Young Avengers, there is a potential possibility that this is the actual thing, but other rumors still are saying that he's going to be playing Falcon's dad, and that is going to motivate the plot forward somehow, and Falcon's going to not want to take up the shield, and then his dad's going to convince him somehow. So either way, it sounds really interesting. Sounds like a good storyline. I think the Isaiah Bradley storyline, introduction of him, would be more interesting, though again, according to a couple of the rumors, it's more likely that he will be playing Falcon's dad. So that is the state of things. Next, we have a video game rumor to discuss, and that is another Batman rumor. So the WB Montreal game that is still technically rumor, even though it's kind of the worst kept secret in video games right now. Now there's more rumors around the rumored game saying that it's going to be a reboot, and may or may not have the word Arkham in the title. All right, so let's get to this real quick. Reboot of what? Because there was, yes, the Arkham games are a linear story that starts from the first game and ends in the third game. Sure, I'll give you that. But like, that is basic Batman canon. There's not a whole lot there that would be quote unquote rebooted, because that's just things that have happened in the comic books and they've adapted them to their specific narrative. They're rebooting that narrative, so they're going to retell us that. That doesn't make sense to me. What does make sense to me is maybe this game takes place in an earlier time in Batman's career, or even potentially at the same time in Batman's career, and it's just not going to reference those other 3 games. Sure, that makes sense, but that's not really a reboot, because it's just not. Yeah, maybe they're not going to have Kevin Conroy do the voice. Sure, makes sense. Maybe they're not going to have Mark Hamill come in and do the Joker's voice. Sure, makes sense. Maybe their version of this universe is not going to have a dead Joker. Also freaking makes sense. And that's the only thing that would be kind of sort of a reboot, quote unquote, because yeah, that's kind of a key factor that only happened in their universe. It still doesn't feel like a reboot to me, but whatever. We're down to our final rumor, which means our final piece for the episode. This one is super, super quick. Sonic 2, there is a new rumor. We all know that Sonic 2 is happening. Even if you haven't seen the movie and you don't know the lead into the sequel, you do know that they have made a boatload of cash, made back all of the money they lost by having to push it back so they could remake a lot of those scenes with a better looking Sonic. By far, they've made all that money back. Now, the rumor is that Sonic 2 will somehow feature The Rock. Because why not? He's in everything, right? Sort of headlines, nerds. For more in-depth conversation on these nerdy bits plus much more nerd news, then you can join me over on my personal YouTube channel, Generally Nerdy. But while you're here on the Big Show Entertainment Media platforms, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And especially if you're on the YouTube, definitely subscribe over there because all subscriptions get entered into our PS4 Pro drawing. So once we hit 1,000 subscriptions on the YouTube channel, we will have a drawing and we will give away a PS4 Pro, though now it might be looking more like a PS5. So definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when we post new videos. Otherwise, thank you for joining me, and tune in next time for all that's happening across the nerd world.